The message came on a Tuesday. Captain Tae-sung Kim was eating breakfast in the United Earth Defense Force headquarters when all the screens went black. Then, one by one, they lit up with strange symbols no human had ever seen before. "Sir," a young officer ran to his table. "You need to come now." Tae-sung dropped his spoon and rushed to the command center. People moved quickly around him, their faces pale with fear and excitement. "What is it?" he asked. General Park pointed at the main screen. "We're getting a signal. Not from Earth. Not from any of our satellites." Tae-sung's heart beat faster. "Where then?" "From somewhere beyond Pluto." The room went quiet. Everyone knew what this meant. After centuries of searching the stars, wondering if humans were alone in the universe, they finally had their answer. They were not alone. Dr. Joo Park rushed into the room, her lab coat flying behind her. As Earth's top scientist in alien communications, she had been preparing for this day her whole life. "Have you tried to decode it?" she asked, pulling her computer from her bag. "Yes, but it's unlike anything we've seen," said one of the technicians. Joo plugged in her device and started working. Her fingers moved quickly over the keys. Hours passed as she tried different approaches. People brought her coffee, but she barely noticed. Finally, near midnight, she stood up straight. "I have it," she said. Everyone gathered around as she played the message on the main screen. A deep voice filled the room, speaking perfect English. "People of Earth, this is Admiral Hyunwoo of the Galactic Hegemony. We have detected your technological advancement. Be warned, the hegemony controls all advanced civilizations in this sector of the galaxy. You have two choices: join us or be destroyed. You have 5 Earth years to prepare for our arrival. Use this time wisely." The message ended. The room was completely silent. Tae-sung looked at the faces around him. Some showed fear, others anger. He felt both, plus something else: determination. "Well," he said finally, "we have our deadline." The next 5 years changed Earth forever. Countries that had fought each other for centuries now worked together. The United Earth government formed, pouring all resources into space defense. Weapons, ships, and shields were built faster than ever before. Tae-sung was put in charge of the first interstellar defense force. His days and nights blurred together as he trained pilots and soldiers for a war unlike any humans had fought before. Dr. Joo Park led the science division. She had a bold idea. Instead of just building bigger weapons, why not create something the hegemony had never seen? "The Ghost Protocol," she explained to Tae-sung in her lab one night. "A combat suit that can bend light, making the wearer nearly invisible. But that's just the start." She showed him designs on her screen. "It will enhance strength and speed. And here's the key part: it connects directly to the pilot's mind." Tae-sung looked concerned. "Is that safe?" Joo smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "War isn't safe, Captain, but this might be our only chance." The suit prototype sat in the corner of her lab. It looked like liquid metal, shimmering in the light. "There's just one problem," Joo said. "The neural interface only works with a specific genetic marker, and it's rare." "How rare?" "We've tested thousands of soldiers. Found only one match." She handed him a file. The name on top read, Han Bin Kang. Tae-sung opened it. The picture showed a young soldier with serious eyes. His record was impressive, but there was a note at the bottom. Psychological evaluation. Subject shows signs of deep trauma. Not recommended for special operations. He lost his family in an accident last year, Joo explained. He's brilliant but unstable. Tae-sung closed the file. "We need to talk to him immediately." As they walked out of the lab, they didn't notice the Ghost Protocol suit pulse slightly, as if it were alive and listening. The countdown to the hegemony's arrival had begun. 5 years passed too quickly. On the last day before the deadline, Captain Tae-sung Kim stood on the observation deck of Earth's largest space station. Through the window, he could see the blue planet below, peaceful, and beautiful. Would it still look that way tomorrow? Captain, a voice called behind him. It was Jae-yun Choi, his best communications officer. The long-range sensors are picking up something. Tae-sung felt his stomach tighten. How many? Hundreds of ships, maybe thousands. Jae-yun's voice was steady, but her hands shook. They'll reach Mars orbit in 6 hours. Tae-sung nodded. Alert all stations. It's time. The first hegemony ships appeared as small dots of light. Then they grew larger and larger. The main ship was massive, bigger than any building on Earth. It was black with strange red markings. Smaller ships surrounded it like insects around their queen. On the bridge of the UES Defender, Earth's largest warship, Tae-sung watched the enemy approach. His crew was silent, their faces tense. "They're broadcasting," said Jae-yun from her station. The main screen flickered. A face appeared. It looked almost human, but not quite. The skin was too smooth, the eyes too large. "I am Admiral Hyunwoo of the Galactic Hegemony," the alien said. "Your time is up. What is your answer? Will you join us or die?" Tae-sung stepped forward. "This is Captain Tae-sung Kim of Earth. We wish to talk. Surely we can find a way to." "There is nothing to discuss." Admiral Hyunwoo cut him off. "The hegemony does not negotiate with primitive species. You have 1 Earth hour to surrender." The screen went dark. "Sir," said Jae-yun, "what do we do now?" Before Tae-sung could answer, a call came from Earth. It was the United Earth President. "Captain," the President said, "the World Council has voted. We must surrender." Tae-sung couldn't believe it. "Madam President, we've spent 5 years preparing. We have ships, weapons, and they have thousands more. We've seen their technology. It's far beyond ours." "Not all of it," Tae-sung argued. "Dr. Park's ghost protocol is untested. We can't risk billions of lives on 1 experimental suit." The President sighed. "I'm sorry, Captain. The order is final. Stand down." The call ended. Tae-sung stood frozen, his mind racing. "Sir?" Jae-yun was looking at him. So was the rest of the crew. "Do we stand down?" Tae-sung looked out the window at the hegemony ships. Then he made his decision. "No," he said. "Get me Dr. Park." On Mars Base Alpha, Dr. Joo Park was working frantically. The Ghost Protocol suit floated in a special tank, its surface rippling like mercury. Her computer beeped. It was Tae-sung. "The President ordered us to surrender," he said without greeting. Joo's heart sank. "After everything we did, all our preparations." "I'm not giving up," Tae-sung said. "How's the suit? Is it ready?" "Yes, but we still don't have a pilot. Han Bin Kang refused the last 3 times we asked." "Where is he now?" "On the Mars base. He's part of the defense team." Suddenly, alarms blared. Joo looked up at the monitors. Hegemony ships were approaching Mars. "They're attacking," she shouted. The vase shook as the first shots hit. Screens showed hegemony ships firing on Mars colonies. Buildings collapsed. People screamed. "Get to the secure lab," Tae-sung ordered. "And find Kang. Now." Joo ran through shaking corridors. The lights flickered. More explosions rocked the base. She reached the security center. Soldiers were running to their positions. Among them, she spotted Han Bin Kang. He was tall and quiet, his face showing no fear as chaos erupted around him. "Private Kang," she called. He turned. Their eyes met. Then the ceiling collapsed between them. As dust filled the air, Joo heard Admiral Hyunwoo's voice over the emergency speakers. "This is what happens to those who defy the hegemony. Mars is just the beginning. Earth is next." Dust filled the air, the sound of falling metal, and screams echoed through Mars Base Alpha. Dr. Joo Park pushed broken ceiling panels aside, trying to reach Han Bin Kang. "Private Kang," she called again. "Are you there?" A hand reached through the dust. Han Bin pulled her to safety as another explosion shook the base. "We need to get to the shelters," Han Bin said. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed anger. "No," Ju grabbed his arm. "I need you to come with me. Now." Han Bin frowned. "The base is under attack. I have orders. I have new orders for you." From Captain Tai Sung himself. Another blast hit the base. The lights went out, then emergency lights came on, bathing everything in red. "Fine," Han Bin said. "Lead the way." They ran through damaged corridors, dodging falling debris. Twice they had to find new routes as passages collapsed. Finally, they reached a heavy door marked Restricted Area. Ju pressed her hand to a scanner. The door slid open. Inside was a large room filled with complex equipment. In the center, in a clear tank, floated what looked like liquid metal. "What is this place?" Han Bin asked. "This is Project Ghost Protocol," Ju said. She moved to a computer and began typing rapidly. "Our last hope." The tank opened. The strange liquid metal rippled. "3 times I asked you to join this project," Ju said without looking up from her work. "3 times you said no." Han Bin stared at the tank. "I'm a soldier, not a lab rat." "You're more than that." Ju turned to face him. "You're the only person on Earth whose DNA matches the requirements for the Ghost Protocol." "What does that mean?" Ju pointed to the liquid metal. "This is not just a suit. It's a symbiotic system. It needs a host with a specific genetic marker. You have it." Han Bin took a step back. "You want to put that thing on me. What will it do?" "It will make you stronger, faster, nearly invisible, and more." Ju's eyes were intense. "It will give Earth a fighting chance." The base shook again. A voice came over the speakers. "Attention all personnel. The main dome has been breached. Oxygen levels dropping in sectors 5 through 9. This is not a drill." Han Bin's face hardened. "Those are my teammates in Sector 7. And they're dying," Ju said bluntly. "Just like everyone on Earth will die if we don't stop the hegemony." Han Bin was quiet for a long moment. Then he asked, "Why did I say no before?" "Because the Ghost Protocol bonds with your nervous system, your mind. It changes you." Ju didn't look away. "There are risks." "What kind of risks?" "We don't know exactly. No one has used it before." A screen on the wall lit up. It was Captain Tae-sung, his face grim. "Dr. Park, status report," he demanded. "I have Private Kang with me," Ju replied. "We're discussing the protocol." Tae-sung looked at Han Bin. "Private, we're out of time. Mars colonies are falling. Earth defenses are holding, but not for long." Han Bin stepped forward. "Sir, Dr. Park says this protocol is dangerous." "It is," Tae-sung admitted. "But so is extinction." Han Bin looked at the liquid metal, then at the screens showing the attack. His teammates fighting, dying. "I lost my family in a shuttle accident last year," Han Bin said quietly. "I have nothing left to lose." "You have Earth," Ju said. "You have humanity." Han Bin took a deep breath. "What do I need to do?" Ju moved quickly. "Remove your armor. Stand in the tank." As Han Bin prepared, Tae-sung spoke to him. "Private Kang, if this works, you'll be our best hope. Maybe our only hope." "And if it doesn't work?" Han Bin asked. Tae-sung's face was solemn. "Then we honor your sacrifice." Han Bin nodded. He stepped into the tank, wearing only a thin bodysuit. "Ready," he said. Ju pressed a button. The liquid metal began to move, flowing upward. It touched Han Bin's feet, then his legs. He gasped. "It's cold," he said. "And it feels alive." The metal continued to rise, covering his body. When it reached his neck, Han Bin looked at Ju with sudden fear. "Will I still be me?" he asked. Before she could answer, the metal covered his face. His body went rigid, then began to shake, Alarms blared from the monitoring equipment. "What's happening?" Ta Sung demanded. "The bonding process," Ju said, fingers flying over the controls. "His vitals are spiking. Brain activity off the charts." Inside the tank, Han Bin's form became a blur of silver. Then, suddenly, he went still. The room fell silent. "Did it work?" Ta Sung asked. In the tank, two eyes opened, glowing bright blue through the silver metal. The thing that stepped out of the tank was no longer just Han Bin Kang. The liquid metal had hardened into armor that fit him perfectly. It flowed like water with his movements, but looked as strong as steel. His eyes glowed blue through the helmet that covered his face. "Han Bin," Dr. Ju Park asked carefully, "can you hear me?" The figure tilted its head. When it spoke, the voice was Han Bin's, but with a strange echo. "I hear you. I feel different." Ju moved closer, checking readings on her tablet. "The suit has bonded completely with your nervous system. How does it feel?" Han Bin looked at his hands. The metal rippled, then became partly clear, showing his skin underneath. Then it turned solid again. "It feels like power," he said. "I can sense everything. The suit wants to show me what it can do." Captain Ta Sung spoke from the screen. "We need to test it now. The hegemony has destroyed half the Mars colonies. They're heading for the lunar bases next." Han Bin looked up. "I'm ready." Admiral Hyunwoo watched from his command ship as his fleet destroyed the Mars outposts. It had been too easy. These humans were weak, their weapons primitive. "Admiral," his second-in-command reported, "all resistance on Mars has been crushed. Shall we proceed to Earth's moon?" "Yes," Hyunwoo said. "Show no mercy. I want the humans to watch as we destroy everything they've built beyond their planet. Let them see what awaits them." "Sir, we're detecting a small ship leaving Mars. It's heading toward the moon at high speed." Hyunwoo waved dismissively. "Probably refugees. Ignore it." The small ship carried only one passenger. Inside, Han Bin sat motionless, mentally connecting with the Ghost Protocol suit. It was teaching him how to use its abilities, showing him things he never imagined possible. "Ghost Warrior, this is Lunar Base Command," a voice said through the comm. "We're under attack. 3 hegemony destroyers are approaching our position." Han Bin opened his eyes. "I'm 5 minutes out. Hold them as long as you can." "Impossible. Our weapons barely damage their shields." "You don't need to destroy them. Just keep their attention on you." The lunar base commander sounded desperate. What can one man do against 3 destroyers? Han Bin didn't answer. His ship was nearing the moon. He could see the hegemony destroyers, massive black shapes firing on the white domes of the lunar base. He stood up. The suit rippled, adapting to what was coming next. "Opening airlock," Han Bin said. Warning lights flashed. A computerized voice responded. "Warning. Outer space environment detected. Airlock opening not recommended." "Override," Han Bin said. "Authorization. Ghost Protocol." The airlock opened. The vacuum of space should have killed him instantly, but the suit protected him, forming a perfect seal. Han Bin stepped out of the ship into empty space. The suit knew what to do. Thrusters appeared on his back and feet, propelling him toward the nearest destroyer. As he moved, the suit's color shifted, becoming nearly invisible against the blackness of space. On the hegemony destroyer, an officer frowned at his screen. "Sir, I'm detecting something strange. A small object moving toward us." The ship's captain looked annoyed. "A missile?" "No, sir. It's too small. And it's changing. I can barely track it." "Nonsense. Nothing can hide from our sensors." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Hull breach in Section 5. Someone shouted. "Something's inside the ship." The captain reached for his weapon. Impossible. The lights went out. Inside the destroyer, Han Bin moved like a shadow. The Ghost Protocol suit let him pass through walls by changing density. It showed him where to strike to cause maximum damage. He reached the engine room. Guards fired at him, but he was too fast. The suit absorbed the energy of their weapons and grew stronger. Han Bin placed his hand on the main power core. The suit extended into it, connecting with the ship's systems. "What are you?" a terrified guard asked, backing away. Han Bin looked up. Through the helmet, his glowing eyes were the only thing visible in the darkness. "I am Earth's response," he said. Then he overloaded the core. From the lunar base, people watched in awe as one of the hegemony destroyers exploded in a ball of blue fire. Admiral Hyunwoo received the news with disbelief. "One ship destroyed. How?" "Unknown, sir. The other destroyers report seeing a ghost." Hyunwoo's eyes narrowed. "Find whatever did this, and destroy it." But for the first time, there was fear in his voice. News of the destroyed hegemony destroyer spread quickly. Videos from the lunar base showed a silver figure moving through space, entering the enemy ship, and then the massive explosion that followed. On Earth, people watched in awe. After weeks of fear and hopelessness, they had something to believe in. Captain Ta Sung stood before the United Earth Council, his uniform crisp despite not sleeping for 2 days. "The Ghost Warrior project has proven successful," he said. "With your permission, I want to form a special task force to support these operations." The president, who had wanted to surrender just days ago, now leaned forward with interest. "What kind of task force?" "A small, elite team. People who can work with the Ghost Warrior and maximize his effectiveness." "Approved," said the president immediately. "Choose whoever you need." In Dr. Ju Park's lab, Han Bin sat on an examination table. The Ghost Protocol suit had retracted, covering only parts of his body like silver patches on his skin. "How do you feel?" Ju asked, running scans. "Strong," Han Bin said, "but strange. Sometimes I'm not sure if a thought is mine or the suit's." Ju looked concerned. "The suit has thoughts." "Not exactly. More like instincts, knowledge." Han Bin struggled to explain. "It knows things. About fighting. About the hegemony." "How could it know about the hegemony?" Ju asked sharply. "This technology is purely Earth-made." Before Han Bin could answer, the door opened. Captain Ta Sung entered with a young woman. "Han Bin, Dr. Park. This is Lieutenant Jae-yun Choi. She's a communications specialist and will be your direct link during missions." Jae-yun stepped forward. She was small but had an air of quiet confidence. "It's an honor to meet you both," she said. Her eyes lingered on Han Bin. "Especially you, Ghost Warrior." Han Bin nodded, suddenly self-conscious of the silver patches on his skin. "Just Han Bin is fine." Jae-yun smiled. "The whole world is talking about you, Han Bin. You've given people hope." A alarm sounded. Ta Sung checked his comm device. "The hegemony is attacking civilian colonies on Ganymede. They're targeting non-military targets now." His face darkened. "They're killing families." Han Bin stood up immediately. The suit responded to his emotions, flowing to cover his body completely. "I'm ready," he said, his voice taking on that strange echo. Jae-yun moved to a console. "I'll establish a secure communication channel. You won't be alone out there." 3 days later, Han Bin had destroyed 5 more hegemony ships. Each time, the Ghost Protocol suit seemed to grow stronger, learn more. But Han Bin was changing too. Jae-yun noticed it first. During their communication sessions, Han Bin spoke less. His voice became more mechanical. When he did speak, he used strange phrases that didn't sound like him. Yesterday, he called the hegemony the ancient enemy. Jae-yun told Dr. Park, like he knew them from before. Ju ran more tests. The results troubled her. "The suit is merging with his mind more than we expected," she told Captain Ta Sung. "The neural pathways are changing. In some brain scans, I can't tell where Han Bin ends and the Ghost Protocol begins." "Can you stop it?" Ta Sung asked. "I don't know. And I'm not sure we should. Ju looked at her screens. The suit makes him incredibly effective. But what? I'm worried we might lose Hanbin in the process. Jai-yun sat alone with Hanbin in the quiet hours between missions. The suit had partly retracted, showing his face. He looked tired. "Do you remember your family?" she asked gently. Hanbin blinked, as if surprised by the question. "My family. You mentioned losing them last year, in a shuttle accident." Hanbin was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice sounded more human than it had in days. "Their names were, he frowned, struggling. "I can't remember their names." A single tear ran down his cheek. Where it touched a silver patch of the suit, the metal rippled, as if confused by this human response. Jai-yun took his hand. The suit retracted from his fingers, allowing human contact. "Your mother's name was Su-min," she said softly. "Your father was Dong-yun. Your little sister was Hudiyun. I looked them up." Hanbin nodded slowly. "Thank you," he whispered. "I need to remember who I'm fighting for." In the darkness of space, Admiral Hyunwoo prepared his next move, unaware that the greatest threat to the hegemony was not just a weapon, but a human heart that still remembered how to feel. Admiral Hyunwoo paced the bridge of his flagship, 7 of his ships destroyed. By what? A single human in a strange suit. "Impossible," he muttered. His second-in-command approached carefully. "Admiral, the High Council is demanding an update." Hyunwoo's face hardened. The High Council rarely contacted field commanders directly. This was bad. "Put them through," he ordered. The large screen flickered. 3 shadowy figures appeared. Their faces were hidden, as was tradition for the High Council. "Admiral Hyunwoo," the center figure spoke. "Your mission is failing." Hyunwoo bowed deeply. "Respected Council, we have encountered unexpected resistance. A new Earth weapon." "We know about the ghost," the figure on the left interrupted. "Our sensors have captured images." The screen changed to show Hanbin in the Ghost Protocol suit, moving through space, passing through solid metal as if it were air. "This is troubling," said the figure on the right. Hyunwoo was confused. "It is advanced technology, yes, but nothing the hegemony cannot overcome with our superior numbers." The center figure leaned forward. "You fool, do you not know the prophecy?" "Prophecy," Hyunwoo repeated. "Bring the Keeper of Knowledge," the center figure ordered. A moment later, a small, ancient-looking alien joined the council members on screen. It carried a large, worn book. "Show him," the council ordered. The keeper opened the book to a marked page. On it was a drawing that made Hyunwoo's blood freeze. It showed a silver figure, surrounded by stars, with glowing eyes. "This text is 10,000 years old," the keeper explained. "It tells of a ghost that walks between worlds, who will bring down the empire. The phantom warrior who cannot be stopped by walls or weapons." Hyunwoo stared at the image. It was identical to Earth's ghost warrior. "This is just a coincidence," he said, but his voice lacked conviction. "The prophecy states that when the ghost appears, the empire's end begins," the keeper continued. "Many have dismissed it as myth, but now," the council members spoke as one. "You will destroy Earth immediately. Use the planet killers if necessary. Sacrifice your entire fleet if you must. But the ghost must be destroyed." The screen went dark. Hyunwoo stood in silence for a long moment. Then he turned to his officers. "Prepare all ships. Target Earth directly. No more games." On Earth, in a quiet room deep beneath the United Earth Government headquarters, intelligence officer Sun-mi Lee made a discovery. Sun-mi was part of Captain Taesung's special task force, assigned to study everything they could learn about the hegemony. For weeks, she had analyzed data from destroyed enemy ships. "Captain," she called over the comm, "I found something strange in the ship fragments." Hours later, Captain Taesung, Dr. Ju Park, and Jai-yun gathered around Sun-mi's workstation. Look at this, Sun Mai said, pointing to her screen. This is a fragment of text I recovered from a hegemony ship's database. It mentioned something called the Phantom Warrior Prophecy. She pulled up a translation. It's some kind of ancient prediction about the fall of their empire. And look at this image. The screen showed a figure that looked remarkably like Hanbin in the Ghost Protocol suit. That's impossible, Ju whispered. The Ghost Protocol is our technology. We created it here on Earth. Are you certain? Sun Mai asked. Because this text is thousands of years old, according to their dating system. Tai Sung frowned. What else does it say? The prophecy claims that a ghost that walks between worlds will bring down the empire. The hegemony has feared this figure for millennia. Sun Mai looked up at them. I think they believe Hanbin is the fulfillment of their prophecy. The room fell silent as they considered the implications. This could work to our advantage, Tai Sung said finally. Fear is a powerful weapon. Jai Yun looked troubled. But what does this mean for Hanbin? And where did the Ghost Protocol really come from if the hegemony has ancient images of it? Before anyone could answer, alarms blared throughout the base. What's happening? Ta Sung demanded. A voice came over the speakers. Multiple hegemony ships approaching Earth. They've bypassed our outer defenses. They're carrying planet-killer weapons. Tai Sung's face went pale. Where's Hanbin? In the training chamber, Jai Yun said. Get him ready. Tai Sung ordered. This is it. The final battle has begun. Hanbin floated in space, watching the hegemony fleet approach Earth. Hundreds of ships filled the darkness. At their center was Admiral Kunwu's massive flagship. Behind it came 5 larger ships carrying the planet-killer weapons. These weapons could crack a planet's crust, end all life, end Earth. Ghost Warrior, do you copy? Jai Yun's voice came through his comm. I'm here, Hanbin replied. His voice no longer sounded fully human. Our forces are in position. Captain Tai Sung is leading our ships to defend the Northern Hemisphere. You need to focus on those planet killers. Hanbin didn't respond immediately. The Ghost Protocol suit was excited. It understood what was happening. It had been waiting for this. Hanbin. Jai Yun's voice softened. Are you still with us? The question had more meaning than she knew. Each day, Hanbin felt more of himself slipping away. The suit was taking over, filling his mind with strange knowledge and memories that weren't his. I'm still here, he said finally, but I don't know for how long. Dr. Park is working on a solution. She thinks she can modify the neural interface to give you more control. There's no time, Hanbin said. The hegemony is here. I need to stop them. Then come back afterward, Jai Yun said firmly. Promise me. The silver material of the suit rippled, as if responding to his emotions. I promise to try, Hanbin said. Then he moved. On Earth, Captain Ta Sung led the planet's defense fleet. Every ship they had, from massive battlecruisers to small fighters, rose to meet the hegemony. All ships form defensive line Alpha, he ordered. Remember your training. We need to keep them busy while the Ghost Warrior takes out those planet killers. Earth's ships were smaller and fewer, but they fought with desperate courage. They knew this was their last stand. In her lab, Dr. Ju Park worked frantically. The more she learned about the Ghost Protocol, the more she worried. The suit wasn't just merging with Hanbin, it was consuming him. I need more time, she muttered, her fingers flying over her keyboard. Next to her, Sun Mai continued to translate the ancient hegemony texts. There's more to the prophecy, Sun Mai said suddenly. It says the Phantom Warrior sacrifices human form to become something new. Juwoo's hands froze above her keyboard. What does that mean? I'm not sure, but it says neither flesh nor metal, but power made form. Juwoo's face paled. We need to warn Hanbin. In space, the battle raged. Earth ships fell one by one against the greater hegemony forces, but they fought bravely, drawing enemy fire away from their planet. Han Bin moved like lightning between enemy ships. He disabled 3 planet killers, tearing through their hulls and destroying their power cores. But the Ghost Protocol was changing with each victory, growing stronger, more dominant. Asterisk, we must complete the transformation. Asterisk, a voice said in his mind. Not his voice. Who are you? Han Bin asked aloud. Asterisk, I am the vengeance, created long ago to bring justice to the hegemony. My makers are gone, but their purpose remains. Asterisk. Han Bin understood then. The Ghost Protocol wasn't Earth technology at all. It was a weapon created by one of the hegemony's ancient victims, sent adrift in space until it found Earth. Found him. Han Bin. Jai-Yun's voice broke through. Dr. Park has discovered something about the suit. It's dangerous. You need to return to base immediately. I can't, Han Bin said. 2 more planet killers to go. The suit is trying to take you over completely. The prophecy. Her voice cut off as a massive explosion lit up space. Earth's flagship, with Captain Tai-sung aboard, had taken a direct hit. Captain Tai-sung's ship is down. Someone shouted over the comm. Han Bin looked toward Earth, blue and beautiful, then at the remaining hegemony ships. Too many to fight conventionally. Asterisk, we can end this now. Asterisk, the voice in his mind said. Asterisk, but you must surrender yourself completely. Asterisk. Han Bin knew what that meant. He would cease to be human. Ghost Warrior, what's your status? Jai-Yun called, her voice desperate. Han Bin made his decision. I'm going to end this, he said. Tell Dr. Park. Tell her she was right to worry. He turned toward Admiral Hyunwoo's flagship, the silver of his suit glowing brighter than ever before. And Jai-Yun, remember my family's names for me. Admiral Hyunwoo watched the battle from his flagship's bridge. Earth's defenses were failing. Captain Tai-sung's ship had fallen. Victory seemed certain. Yet fear gripped him. The Ghost Warrior had already destroyed 3 planet killers. Where was it now? Admiral, his second-in-command shouted. Something's approaching. Fast. On the screen, a bright silver light streaked toward them. All weapons, fire, Hyunwoo ordered. Stop it at any cost. Every gun on the flagship fired at once. Energy beams cut through space. Missiles launched. But the silver light moved too quickly, dodging everything with impossible speed. It can't be stopped, someone whispered. For the first time in his long military career, Admiral Hyunwoo felt true terror. On Earth, Jai-Yun tried desperately to reach Han Bin. Ghost Warrior, please respond. She called into her comm. Han Bin, are you there? Dr. Ju Park rushed into the communication center, her face pale. I figured it out, she said. The Ghost Protocol was never meant to be a suit. It's a separate entity, a weapon designed to merge completely with its host. What does that mean for Han Bin? Jai-Yun asked, her voice shaking. If the merger completes, Han Bin Kang will cease to exist as a human. The Ghost Warrior will become something new. Jai-Yun turned back to her console. Han Bin, if you can hear me, you need to fight the suit. Don't let it take you. Static was her only answer. Han Bin flew toward the hegemony flagship, moving faster than any human had before. The Ghost Protocol no longer felt like a suit. It was becoming part of him, atom by atom. Asterisk, we must complete the transformation to reach full power. Asterisk, the voice inside him said. What will happen to me? Han Bin asked. Asterisk, you will transcend. Become more than human. More than machine. Asterisk. Han Bin thought of Earth, of his lost family, of Jai-Yun and her kindness. Will I remember being human? Asterisk, that is your choice. Some hosts choose to remember. Others prefer to forget the pain of mortal existence. Asterisk. Han Bin made his decision. I want to remember. He reached the flagship. Weapons fire surrounded him, but nothing touched him. The Ghost Protocol had evolved beyond physical limitations. Han Bin passed through the hull like it was mist. Inside, Hegemony soldiers fired weapons in panic. He moved past them, heading for the bridge. Admiral Hyunwoo stood waiting, a strange ancient weapon in his hands. "The prophecy said you would come," the admiral said. "It did not say I would surrender easily." He fired the weapon. Unlike the others, this beam struck Han Bin, causing pain unlike anything he had felt before. "This was created to fight your kind," Hyunwoo said, advancing. "From the last time a phantom warrior threatened us, 10,000 years ago." Han Bin fell to his knees. The suit rippled, struggling to adapt. "You are not the first," Hyunwoo continued. "Others have tried. All have failed." Through the pain, Han Bin heard Jae-yun's voice in his calm. "Han Bin, fight. Remember who you are. Soo-min, Dong-hyun, Hae-yun. Your family. Remember Earth. Remember us." Something sparked inside Han Bin. Not the suit's power, but human emotion. Grief for his family. Love for his planet. Connection to Jae-yun and the others who fought beside him. "I remember," he whispered. The Ghost Protocol responded to his emotion. It changed, becoming brighter, stronger. Han Bin stood. Admiral Hyunwoo fired again, but this time the beam passed through Han Bin without effect. "Impossible," Hyunwoo gasped. "You're right about one thing," Han Bin said, his voice echoing strangely. "I'm not the first, but I will be the last you ever face." He reached out and touched the ship's control panel. The Ghost Protocol spread from his hand, flowing into the ship's systems. "What are you doing?" Hyunwoo demanded. "Ending this war," Han Bin answered. The flagship's systems began to overload. Han Bin turned to face the admiral. "Your empire feared one thing. Now you know why." Light filled the bridge as the Ghost Protocol merged completely with Han Bin and the ship's power core. In that moment of transformation, Han Bin felt everything: his human past, the ancient purpose of the protocol, and something new being born. The flagship exploded in a burst of silver-blue energy that spread outward, washing over the entire hegemony fleet. Ship after ship lost power, weapons systems failing. From Earth, people watched as the enemy fleet went dark. The planet killers, the destroyers, all of them, silent and drifting. The Ghost Warrior had won, but Han Bin Kang was gone. 3 years passed since the day Earth's Ghost Warrior defeated the hegemony. The disabled enemy ships had been captured, their technology studied and adapted. Humanity was no longer confined to the solar system. Earth ships now explored the stars. Admiral Tae-sung Kim, who had survived the attack on his ship, stood on the observation deck of the new flagship, the UES Han Bin Kang. Below him, Earth looked peaceful and blue. "Admiral, we're ready to depart," said his first officer. Tae-sung nodded, set course for the Centauri system. As the ship moved away from Earth, Tae-sung thought about how much had changed. The hegemony was in chaos. After their defeat at Earth, many subject worlds had rebelled. The empire that had lasted 10,000 years was falling apart. All because of one man, one warrior. Dr. Ju Park's laboratory had grown. She now led Earth's Advanced Technology Division, with hundreds of scientists working under her. Their main task: understanding the technology left behind by the hegemony and the Ghost Protocol. Today, she stood before the United Earth Council, presenting her latest findings. The Ghost Protocol was created by a civilization called the Arai, she explained. They were the first species conquered by the hegemony, over 12,000 years ago. On the screen behind her, ancient symbols appeared. According to records found on hegemony ships, the Arai created the protocol as a last-ditch weapon. But they were defeated before they could use it. The protocol escaped, drifting through space for millennia. "Until it found Earth," said the council president. "Until it found Han Bin Kang." "Yes," Ju nodded. "Somehow it was drawn to us. To him specifically, because of his unique genetic marker." "And what of Han Bin now?" asked one council member. Is he truly gone? Ju glanced at Jai Yun, who sat quietly at the back of the room. That's where things get interesting. Jai Yun Choi led a special research team based on the moon. Their mission was classified, known only to the highest levels of Earth government. Every day, Jai Yun's team monitored strange energy patterns in deep space, patterns that had started appearing shortly after the hegemony's defeat. Today, she sat alone in the observation dome, looking at the stars. On her desk was a small memorial stone, the same kind that stood in every major city on Earth. It bore Han Bin's name and the simple words, Earth's Guardian. Her computers beeped. Another energy pattern, stronger than before. Jai Yun moved quickly to her station. The pattern was different this time, more focused, almost like a message, she whispered. She ran the signal through the decoding program she had developed. Slowly, words appeared on her screen. I remember. Jai Yun's hands trembled as she typed a response. Han Bin. The reply came moments later. Yes and no. I am what he became. What we became together. Where are you? She typed. Everywhere. Nowhere. The transformation was more complete than anyone imagined. I exist now as energy, as information, as a guardian. Jai Yun wiped tears from her eyes. Are you coming back? There was a long pause before the answer came. Not as I was, but I am not gone. I watch over Earth, over all of you. The screen showed new information, coordinates, star maps, warnings about remaining hegemony strongholds. There are others like me now, the message continued. Other worlds fighting back. The empire is falling, as the prophecy said it would. Do you regret your choice? Jai Yun asked. No, I remember my family. I remember Earth. I remember you. That was my choice, to keep my humanity even as I became something more. The energy pattern began to fade. Will I hear from you again? Jai Yun typed quickly. When Earth needs me, tell them I am still watching. Tell them the ghost warrior remains. The signal faded completely. Jai Yun sat back, a mix of sadness and joy on her face. That night, Admiral Ta Sung stood on his ship, looking at the distant stars. Next to him, Dr. Ju Park and Jai Yun Choi shared what they had learned. So he's still out there, Tai Sung said softly, watching over us. The hegemony feared one thing, Ju said, a phantom warrior who would end their empire. They never understood that what made Han Bin truly powerful wasn't the Ghost Protocol. It was his humanity. As the UEA's Han Bin Kang moved through the stars, a faint silver light followed, unseen by human eyes. The Ghost Warrior continued his watch, the legend that humanity had given to the stars.